Hello, and thank you for joining me here at Take 5 with Fanae 5. Hey, that's me.
Claudette Colvin has spent most of her 82 years as a convicted juvenile delinquent who would go on to college, work as a nurse's aide, and raise two sons. Do you think of yourself as an important figure in history?
No, I think of myself as a survival of the civil rights struggle.
Her place in the civil rights struggle began when she was 15 years old, at the back of a crowded Montgomery, Alabama bus after school with three friends.
I was sitting in the section that was allowed for colored people, and this white lady came. The bus driver demanded for the four seats.
And this is you and three others?
Students, yes.
So three of them got up?
Yes.
And you refused?
So I refused. Because this wasn't an elderly white lady, this was a young white lady.
You're sitting there, your classmates get up and move.
Yes.
What was going through your head as to why you refused to stand?
I said I could not move because history had me glued to the seat. And they said, how is that? I said, well, it felt as though Harriet Tubman hands were pushing me down on one shoulder, and Sojourner Truth's hand was pushing me down on the other shoulder.
Now that happened 9 months before Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus, overshadowing for decades what a teenager had also done.
And the traffic patrolman came to the rear of the bus and asked me why I wasn't sitting there. I told him I was sitting there because I paid my fare and it's my constitutional rights.
And then what happened?
Oh, lo and behold, two squad car patrolmen stopped and, cut the bus off. And they stopped and we said, oh my. And he asked me why I wasn't sitting there. And I was even more defiant. And I said, I paid my fare and it's my constitutional rights. He said, constitutional rights? And no. And they put me in the squad car and they handcuffed me through the window.
Claudette Colvin was jailed, charged with disturbing the peace, breaking segregation law, and found guilty of assaulting police officers, clawing them with her fingernails.
They said I clawed the policeman and I kicked the police. I didn't do all of that.
At the time I represented Claudette Colvin, there was no Rosa Parks case.
And I'm no longer a juvenile delinquent at 82.
Someone would like to meet you.
Hello, Miss Colvin. Judge Calvin Williams.
Oh, wow.
Judge Calvin Williams.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness.
On behalf of myself and all of the judges of Montgomery, offer my apology for an injustice that was perpetrated upon you.
Oh, this is a surprise.
So you didn't know that the judge who did this was African American?
No, I'm so proud.
The judge wasn't even born when Miss Colvin refused to give up her seat on that bus.
When she did this in 1955, there were no African American judges in Montgomery. She stood up for right, and now I'm the beneficiary and byproduct of that, and I could correct the wrong that was done to her.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Can I squeeze your hand?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened there? How come she wasn't recognized in the same way that Rosa Parks was?
I asked her about that specifically, so here's what she said. At the time, she was 15 and pregnant. And she said the civil rights leaders at that time did not want to put forward a pregnant 15-year-old girl who some adults thought was kind of a rebel rouser, right? Remember, not everyone in the community, Anne-Marie, thought it was a great idea to go on the bus and do this. Even people in the African-American community, she said, kind of looked at her like, girl, what are you doing?